Hey there, crochet friends. I'm Mo, your crochet companion, and today we are putting our link stitches to work with a quick, functional linked stitch wristlet. Why did the wristlet break up with the loose stitches? Because it wanted something more secure. Makes sense to me. Alright, so go ahead and if you have never done a linked single crochet or a linked double crochet before, I want you to go ahead and pause here and then find my tutorial that is mastering the linked single crochet and linked double crochet. Alright, so if you're ready, grab your yarn and hook and let's stitch this up. So as you can see, this is my cute little wristlet, but I'm going to go ahead and move it out of the way for the moment. And we're going to talk about yarn. So I used this rainbow yarn from Hobii. It is considered a sport weight, so it's a pretty fine texture, but you can use a worsted weight if you want to. If you are going to use a worsted weight, make sure that you are using say a size H hook or a 5mm hook. Now if you are going to do the sport weight like I am, go ahead and grab yourself a size G hook. Now you are also going to need some stitch markers, at least 2 of them, and a darning needle or a yarn needle, whatever you want to call it, and scissors, our trusty scissors. Alright, so unlike crochet stitches, linked stitches eliminate gaps and create a dense, structured fabric, making this wristlet extra durable. Whether you use it as a coin purse, a phone pouch, or a mini clutch, this technique will help everything secure and stylish. Alright, so my little wristlet that I made here, I actually started with the single crochet link stitch and then I finished it off with a double crochet, and I didn't really like, as you can see, the single crochet kind of leaves a little bit of a gap. The single crochet link stitch, I didn't like that. So for the coin purse that I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and, or I guess you could say a wristlet. So basically, essentially, I'm going to use the double crochet, the double linked crochet instead of the single crochet, because I just didn't like the way it came out. It just kind of made it smaller on one side with the gaps. I just didn't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and we are going to get started. So first we're going to create the base of our wristlet. We actually have 2 options to start this particular project. You can either do a double crochet foundation row, or you can do the chain foundation. So what I'm going to do, if you haven't already done a foundation row, go ahead and pause the video, go find that video that I do a single crochet and double crochet foundation row, and then come back and visit me. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start with the chain foundation, just so that we have a little bit of practice doing this, because sometimes there's going to be times when you really are going to need to do it this way. So to start with, we are going to chain 32. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. Gonna give myself some more yarn here. Alright, so we're gonna start from the second chain from the hook, and let's go a little bit closer so we can have fun doing this part together. Alright, so I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop. We got 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to insert our hook in the next chain, pull up a loop, and then do our double crochet as usual. Then the second stitch, we're going to grab that bar the horizontal bar right there, pull up a loop, and then we're going to grab that next chain, pull up a loop, and then do our double crochet as usual. We're just going to keep going that route until we get to the end of the row. All right, I'm going to meet you back here at the end of the row. Maybe. I'm mesmerized. I just love this stitch, so it mesmerizes me. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, look at how smooth and seamless that texture is. No weird gaps, right? On to the second row. Okay, so this is where we absolutely do need to have 2 chains in order to start the row. So we're gonna, well, see how it was a habit of me to yarn over, but we don't actually need to yarn over. We're gonna insert our hook right into that second chain, pull up a loop, go into the first stitch, pull up a loop, and then single or double crochet as usual. Then we are going to move in a little bit closer, and we're going to grab that first vertical bar right there, insert our hook, pull up a loop, insert our hook, pull up, and do our normal double crochet. So let's do that again. Insert our hook into the vertical bar, pull up a loop, insert our stitch into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and do a double crochet as usual. So we're going to keep going until we get to, I would say, roughly around 10 to 12 rows. If you want a, let me think about this here. If you want a wider coin purse, then you're going to add more rows. If you want a taller, then you're going to add more stitches to the end. So if you wanted it to be wider than the 32, then you'll want to go, I don't know, maybe to 35, maybe even 40, depends on how big you want it. And then just do more rows if you want it to be wider. So more stitches if you want it taller, and more rows if you want it to be wider. So my original one, I actually did 4 rows of linked single crochets here, and then the rest of them I did the linked double crochet, so I wound up having 12 rows, but usually the single is almost the equivalent to 1 double crochet, so 2 equals 1 double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10, and then we're going to measure it. So we want our row to be, I'd say our rows total should be right around between 4 and 5 inches. This one I actually made 5 inches. So if you want it to be the same size as this, go ahead and make 5 inches, and we'll meet back here. Okay, all right. Okay, I just crocheted my last stitch on my row of 10. So I did 10 of those linked double crochets. Now I did kind of mess up a little bit here. I wasn't thinking quite clearly, so because we are actually going to be seaming these 2 ends together, well actually it's going to be like this, seaming the ends together. Or did I? Oh nope, well I kind of did. So you know how this side has the braid, I should have put the chain stitch in the back hump of the chain so that I could have that braid on this side, or doing the foundation row so that I had those braids on the other side, but that's okay. We're gonna actually make it work anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie this off. We want to make sure that we have a nice long tail, because we're going to use that long tail to sew our seams together. Alright, so this is where our stitch marker comes in. So I actually counted down 8. So when I fold this over like this, I counted down 8, and before we actually put our sides together, I'm going to give you a little hint here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I got 8 over here, and then I'm going to put 8 on this side. So this is a little bit harder since I didn't do that loop. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on that side. Let me double check to make sure that that is looking even. Yep, that looks even. Okay. Now, to put the finishing touches, if you want to, you can have a fatter wristlet and just stitch yourself a little zipper in here instead of doing it the way I'm doing it. But I like this flap because with this flap you can actually put some, oh, what are they called? Little snaps. You could put like a little snap on each side or one snap, and then you would put your little button on there or whatnot. I think that the button is cute, especially with that yellow. That yellow just pops. Alright, so let's get little. We're going to go ahead and seam our sides together here. Alright, give me a minute. I'm going to thread my needle here. Now I'm going to take this and get it down to, I'm going to weave in down to this edge right here. All the way down. Okay. Now you can do the whip stitch or you can do the match. Is it? No, mattress stitch. I want to call it a match stitch, but it's called a mattress stitch. I like the mattress stitch myself, so I'm going to go ahead and do the mattress stitch here. Need one more stitch here. What did I do here? Oh, okay. I guess I'm making a knot for myself, and I didn't need a knot just yet. There we go. Alright, so with the mattress stitch, we're actually going to go from the inside out underneath this stitch right here. And we're going to match it with the very first stitch on this side. Going from the inside, or well, actually, yeah, the inside out. Line those up as you go. Okay, so our next stitch, we're going to go on the inside out as usual, and then back on the other side. We're going to keep going that way all the way down to the end here. And I will pick back up where I left off here. Maybe. Okay, so we got to this corner, and what I'm going to do, because I want to go across to the other corner, so I'm actually just going to take my yarn and weave it in all the way to the other side. Don't want to do that. Ooh. Alright, so now it's a little bit trickier to go from this corner to this corner because we need to make sure that our stitches match up a little bit more evenly. So I'm going to take a look here, and I'm just going to match my stitches up here so I know where I need to start at the other end. So it was pretty on point. Gonna keep going with that mattress stitch. Oh, it's not too bad. I like the V better, but this will work just fine. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this, weaving this in, and I will see you as soon as I'm done at that corner. Okay. Alright, weaving in my last stitch because it was absolutely perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and go back through here, and then we're going to weave in our end a couple different directions here so that we don't have to worry about it falling apart. And I have learned that my stuff doesn't fall apart that easily. I had a blanket that I did probably 8 years ago, maybe longer, and the person I gifted it to, she uses it all the time, and she says that she's washed it several times and it has never frayed or peeled or anything, so no ends popping out or anything. I was like, oh, thank goodness. So I guess I'm doing something right. Alright, so in it goes. There we go. Alright, so at this point you can actually take out your stitch markers. We're going to weave in that last end here. Oops. Yeah, as soon as we got that, and weave it in, and then I'm going to show you how to create a nice clean line here, and then how to do like the little handle that I did here. Actually, it wasn't too hard. So what I wound up doing is that I did the single crochet foundation, or linked single crochet for the handle instead of the double. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so I wanted to take a look at here. So you see how this first row was the linked single crochets. I just didn't like that, and so this came out so much better with all of them being just the linked double crochet. I just absolutely am finding that I love this stitch. It just makes it look so much cleaner. No gaps. I don't think you're going to have any money falling out of this if you use this as a money pouch, unless you don't put anything to secure the flap. So I would definitely get some of those snaps and put them, you know, one on each end, and then embellish it by putting a button there. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on this edge. So all I did with this edge was I attached my yellow again, and we did a single crochet all the way across, and then I did a reverse single crochet on the way back. Don't need that much in there, so I just kind of make it as even as I could, you know, finding a little spot here, a little spot there. So let me go a little bit closer so you can kind of see where I'm going with my hook. It's not going to be perfect, but at least you can, oh hey, crocheting some of my hair in there. You can just kind of find a spot and try to get it as even as possible. I don't really like to go into gaps because those gaps make it look like that gap will be even bigger. So I try to go in where I see two strands where I can kind of sneak my hook in. Well, maybe. There we go. And we're going to just keep on going here. And sometimes you don't have a choice because you can't get your hook into that little space, and so the only spot to put it is in a gap. Well, maybe, there we go. Yep, that one I'm gonna have to put it in a gap. Bummer. And as you can see, I'm crocheting over my strand so I don't have to weave it in later. I try to, I guess, see, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily lazy, but I'm not really fond of doing a lot of weaving in of ends. And it is better to weave them in as you go rather than wait until the end when you have a bazillion and one. Alright, the last one here. And then we're just going to do a reverse stitch or a crab stitch on the way back. That way you can have a nice clean line and it looks kind of cool. I do a lot of the crab stitch or the reverse single crochet. I do that a lot in most of my projects because it just makes a nice clean edge. Just enough flavor. Yep, just enough flavor. Almost there, and then we're going to work on the little wrist thing here. Now the last stitch I usually just kind of go in there and just scoop it up and do a slip stitch basically. Alright, so we're going to finish that off and weave that in. See how much better that looked just by doing that simple edging. Alright, let's back up a little bit here. I think you guys all know how to do a weave in, so we're just gonna zip our thing in here and then take it back the other way so it stays and it's nice and secure. And on the way back here, there we go. Alright, snipping that end off. Alright, so there's that part. Now we just need a little handle. So for the handle, what we're going to do is we're going to do 40 chains and then we're going to do the linked single crochet. And I don't know, I just felt better doing the chain for this one. If you want to, you can just do the single crochet foundation row. Not a big deal. Alright, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let me just come back when I've got 40 here. Okay, got my 40 stitches, so we're going to go into the second chain on your hook. Do a regular single crochet. Then we're going to go into that the first vertical bar here. Pull up a loop and then go into that. Oh, actually no, we're not pulling up a loop. Sorry, forgot which one I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to go through the vertical bar and in the next chain. Then we pull through all 3 of those. Go in the vertical bar, into the chain, pull up a loop, swoop through 3. Vertical bar, next chain, pull up and swoop through 3. Alright, so I'm going to keep going that way until I get, oops, I'm going to keep going that way until I get down to the end of my chain. See you back here in just a jiffy. Okay, I made it to the end of that chain. So now we're going to give us a, I wouldn't say we need that long of a chain or a tail, but a little bit of length for your tail. And pull that out. How in the world did I do that? Okay. So we want to make sure that when we are folding it up on itself, that it's straight. So that's how we're going to put our tail or our wristband together, I guess you could say. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually we're going to take the other tail first. So it's not as long. All I'm doing is securing the two ends together first. And you can use the whip stitch or the mattress stitch, it doesn't matter. Okay, make sure it's still the right direction here. I like the mattress stitch myself, so that's what I'm going to be using. We're just going to attach it together like that. All right. And then weave in that end. I like to weave it in on the other side here. And this is not going to be perfect, but just make it work. That's all we're doing, is making it work. Weave it back the other way so that we have some stability. Okay, there we go. Kind of stretch that out a little bit. Make sure I'm cutting off the the correct piece here. All right, so now we're going to take our long line. And I kind of wanted to secure it just a little bit because it was kind of floppy. There we go. All right, so now we're going to take our edge where you want your little band to be. So I just kind of put it right about here. So it's probably, I would say, a good 2 stitches worth. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, out of the picture, out of the frame. So we're going to just put it right there. There we go, right on that edge. And like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect by any means. It just has to do the job. That's all we're looking for. Just for it to do its job. Alright, we're going to stick it right in that corner again here. And I'm going to scoop up this edge right here. And secure it to this. Actually, we're just going to pull it into this corner right here. Boop. There we go. Make sure it's nice and secure. And then we will weave in our end. Let's grab something in the back here. Find a spot and weave it in. And like I mentioned earlier, you can actually use, you know, the zipper, keep it all a little bit taller, I guess, and use a zipper instead. You would hand stitch the zipper in like you would if you were sewing. Alright, snip that off. And then use the snaps if you're going to use the flap. And then throw a button in there for some embellishment. I just think that's the cutest thing right there. And there you have it. You've got your wristlet with a little wrist strap, I guess you could call it. And there you have it, a sturdy, stylish wristlet using only linked single crochet and linked double crochet. This, well, I guess we did throw in a crab stitch in there too. So this project is quick, functional, and perfect introduction to linked stitches. So as you can see, it didn't take this that long. It probably actually took me maybe an hour, hour and a half to do from the beginning to the end. Of course, I didn't make the entire video that long because then you guys would be bored out of your mind with me. And then I'd be finding a whole new audience. But anyway, I digress. So what's coming up next? So try this out. Let me know how it went. Drop a comment below or tag me on social media. I'd love to see your versions. Next up, we're going to explore even more linked stitches for advanced projects. So we're going to be doing the half double crochet, or the linked half double crochet, the linked treble crochet, and the linked double treble crochet. So that's going to be fun. But make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on that. And until next time, happy crocheting!